Good morning. It's Palm Sunday here on Galveston Island. After a rainy, drizzly, could have been a really bad day yesterday because they were threatening really heavy rains possible. But after all of that, the sun is coming out. There's some clouds off to the south, and we may get some more rain today, but at least right now the sun is coming up in between the partly cloudy area to the east, and it's a beautiful day. Palm Sunday. Jesus triumphantly rides into Jerusalem on a donkey, the foal of a donkey. Why in the world is that important? Well, here's the thing. Back in the day, most people expected the Messiah, El-Masih, to come as a conquering hero, to drive the Romans out and to restore Israel. And Jesus did not ride in on the horse, or an elephant, or any other weapon of war. He rode on the back of a donkey, a baby donkey, a foal, a young one. Not something that would be done by a great prince, not something done by a conquering hero, something done by someone who was just traveling from place to place. The rest of Holy Week will be filled with some pretty awful things that happen. The agony in the garden, the betrayal by his own men, his own friend, the arrest, the trial, and the execution. And sometimes we get so caught up in the pain of that we forget that all of this is about the resurrection. All of this is about our being invited to come home and be with God. It is, in its essence, a joy-filled story. We need to remember that. A few years back, we had the movie, the just ended in blood and gore and Jesus, dying on the cross. And I went and I saw it, and I thought Mel Gibson had not done a particularly great job because he stops at the crucifixion. That's not the end of the story. The end of the story is the resurrection and our being redeemed by Jesus. There's an essential goodness to that we need to hear today. Yeah, a lot of us are scared. This pandemic is killing people. Every so many years, about 100 since the last really bad one with the Spanish influenza, something comes along that can wipe out the human race. We've had the bubonic plague, the Black Death. We've had, like I said, the Spanish influenza, which was influenza de diablo. They didn't know what it was, so they thought it was the influence of the devil. Here on my beloved island, we've had scarlet fever and yellow fever. My birth father, Donald Dale Lumley, suffered from polio, had a limp and a brace. My stepfather suffered from polio, was crippled for his whole life. Now, we've done some things that have fixed some of that. We've created vaccines, we've used our minds, we've used science that God has granted us. And we'll do that with COVID-19 as well. But it takes a little time. And it's very likely that we will lose people that we know and people that we care for in that meantime. So as we hunker down, separated by distance, and worried about one another, let us remember that there is no distance separating us from God. God hears our prayer no matter where we are. God hears you now. And know that with the technology that we have, we can do things like I'm doing now, speaking to you. All of you are in my prayers. May God watch over us all, and may we truly understand the glory of the resurrection which comes next week. with Pascha. In the name of our God, who is Redeemer, Sanctifier.